y'all. It's Bobby B in the gray. We in here.
What's up? This your girl ZB. Welcome to In the Gray.
So we took some time off, y'all. Sorry, it's been a minute, but we back and we better. Let's just dive right into it. Got a couple topics we want to discuss. I'm gonna talk about today being a stripper and just address some of the stigma and, well, I guess where I'm coming from is the fact that I am somewhat of a stripper. I guess this is a time that y'all can get to know me a little bit better. I work several jobs, one of them being a hospital operator, which I'm doing right now with my girl ZB, and then on the weekends at a nightclub here in the cities, I dance with little to nothing on.
Little to nothing, huh?
You know, leaving little to the imagination is where we're going with this. So I just wanted to bring up that and talk about, you know, why people think that, you know, being a stripper is you being a hoe, and I'm like, I don't. If you got it, I say flaunt it. If it make you some money and, you know, it's clean, you know what I mean? It ain't,
right.
You ain't dying over it, or you're not, you know, murdering people over it.
Exactly.
You know, it's
you mind your own
assassins.
business. You're not harming nobody else.
Right.
Then that's how I look at it. You know, to each his own. I'm not a stripper for you guys if I'm listening. But I know a couple people that dance outside of Bobby, and they're all cool people, and some of them I would say do fit the stereotype. One of them do, but you know, it's not necessarily a stereotype. It's them. That's their personality, and I think when you start to look at people as a stereotype, you don't really get to see that person.
Right.
So, in regards to that, I tend to look at people's character. I don't think it's cool to be judging people any dang way, because quiet as it's kept, every single person on this face of this earth has a stereotype and can be judged. Okay, so let's just leave the judging alone, stay up out of it. But
let's talk about these bands, though. Can you not tell me you cannot make some real life money?
Look, I ain't
dropping it like it's hot.
I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes I considered if I was in the right job profession or not. I have yet to find me a chunky girls dance club, because if I find one, I'm gonna be in there. No, I'm not. Just in case my husband listen. No, I'm not, babe. No, but look, we are in 2017. It's not the 60s anymore. And, you know, do what you got to do to make your money, to live, right. to make it through the next day. Do what you got to do, as long as you're not out there harming people.
Right.
That's all I care about.
I'm seriously at awe at these strippers that bring home bags. Like, now we're not talking about, you know, the Walmart little plastic grocery bags. We talking about duffel bag, garbage bag.
Yes, like you just rake your leaves in the front.
Rake it up.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I've seen in videos, I've never been in a club like this, where, like, the floor, you don't see the floor.
Well, you can't.
All you see is one.
You can't get too mad at the strippers when you got people paying.
Come on.
Don't get mad at the player. Hate the game.
I'm just saying, it's an industry. You know what I'm saying?
It's a need for it. So,
it's a revenue. It's an income. You know what I'm saying?
It's a need for it.
I did hear, I know, a while back that Drake was in the strip club one night, and he decided to pay homage to some of the strippers he believes has retired. And some of the strippers were...
They hung up their stripper heels like a jersey.
He didn't do the heels. He did the jerseys, like the retirement jerseys.
That was a joke. That was serious?
He did it for the strippers.
Wow.
So, I know one of the strippers for sure was, what's her name? Lyra Galore or something like that.
Ask me. I still live on
She was one of the chicks, and he hung up their jerseys, and one of the chicks wasn't there when he had did it. So her response to him hanging up the jersey, she did it through social media, basically clapping back like, you don't put me in retirement. You don't tell me when I hang up these heels. I love to dance. I look good. I make great money. So, Drake, I really appreciate you. You know, Aubrey, thanks for your recognition and trying to let a sister know you appreciate her, but don't tell me when it's time for me to sit down. You know what I mean? She took pride in her position. I don't have a shame in being no stripper. I make good money. So how dare you?
Right.
You know what I mean? Try to stun on. And I don't even know if he did it in that type of fashion, but it just seems a little beside yourself to sit here and tell me when I'm done doing what I'm doing.
Well, you know, I don't know about all of that. If you're not done, you're not done. There's no way nobody can force you into retirement. I just would have been like, I wouldn't even addressed it and just showed up at the club the next day and dropped it like this.
You know what I'm saying? Take that down, because I'm still here. Okay?
You said take it down. I've never heard that, like, seriously?
I don't think they do it regularly. I think this is just Drake's thing of, like, paying homage to them.
Okay.
Like, I'm sure
I'm like, nah, is they giving out most valuable player of the year awards and shit? Best defensive player?
Some places may do that if you
got men up in there, like, I don't know.
Ace of Diamonds, you know what I mean? Whoever.
Hey,
Magic City might have.
That's this culture. That's the culture.
But I'm saying it's been around for so long. I'm sure it's got those type of objectives.
That's like underground because it's not, you know, it's still kind of taboo.
Yeah.
So if they do have that, that's probably something you'll see like deep in Atlanta.
You gotta be
known, in the backwoods or something like that, you know. But nowadays, people who have been shunned from like society, they're like coming out and doing their own thing. I was just seeing something on Facebook about people with tattoos and piercings and weird hair colors are like, look, we don't care about y'all not wanting to hire us. We're making our own companies and we're making our own rules.
Yes. And
that's one thing I do love about this generation is they do not give a damn about society norms.
Come on now. That's what, because that whole, like, construction, this social construction of, like, what it means to be a part of a society is, like, you know we're the people a part of this society, so we should be able to say what it is. Nobody
is taking a seat no more, and I love that. No back seats.
Okay, moving right along. That took a little longer than expected. Passing on the mic, your turn.
Okay, so my topic, now his topic was the fun topic. He always do the fun ones, and here I come with my Debbie Downer self. No, but I was looking at this, something on Facebook about, it's this revolutionary group in Detroit called, I don't have my paper in front of me now, New Era Detroit. And so they're kind of like Black Panther-ish, and they're out looking, taking care of the community or whatever. And apparently there is this church that they ran into. Now this happened like a year or so ago, and I just found out upon doing research on it that it was an old story. I really didn't want to do this anymore when I found out it was old, but since what happened in Houston, I said maybe I should still talk about it and try to connect it. Well, anyway, they went to this church. They stopped the church in the middle of the service. Walked in there like a bunch of thugs. Now, I'm not calling them thugs, but this is what it looks like to these old little church ladies in there who's in there praising God, and then here you come in here with your baggy jeans talking about some stop the service. So they're upset because they said this pastor, and I'm not saying any names or the name of the church, do your own research, he is asking his congregation for $1,000 tithes. And then supposedly, I don't know if this is true, he said if you can't afford 1,000, try at least 300. So he still has, yes, he has a limit on what he's accepting. And they're upset because he has this mansion and this Rolls Royce, and he's dead smack in the poorest community in Detroit, asking your poor parishioners for money. Like, absurd amount of money.
Right.
You know, not come as you are, give what you can.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We need $1,000 for this church fund. We need $300 for the light, well, you know, stuff like that. And I'm just like, at what point is it bad for the pastor to do that? Or at what point is it personal responsibility for the community? You're already poor. Why are you giving out all of your money?
I guess I take a different perspective on this topic because growing up as a preacher's child, both of my parents being ministers, understanding, I guess, both sides of the coin. That we need the congregation to keep the doors open.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Not only is it that we need the congregation to have a church, you know what I mean? Because you can preach to the pews and to the family.
Well, what they say, 3 or more, then Jesus is in the house.
You know what I'm saying? So I've definitely been in that situation with my parents before, so I definitely get that. But then for him to be asking for a certain amount on top of him already being, I guess,
successful,
wealthy. You know what I'm saying? So it just kind of leaves a sour taste in your mouth to really get in his head and understand where you're coming from with asking for a certain amount of money.
Now, with this being said, with the research I was doing, some of the congregation was saying, he does help us out in time of need. He does things for the community. Mm-hmm. He helped a lady get into an apartment and everything, and that's good. That's great. Now, as far as New Era Detroit taking it upon themselves to go in there and stop service and hold this man accountable is something different. That's a whole nother subject for a whole nother day.
I feel like it could have been something a little bit more personal, like to this group, to where they weren't receiving, the request that they have put out to him, where he's not showing them what they believe he should be doing. Because I'm like, it had to be a boiling point for it to get
this
that
is a
far.
Very militant group.
You know what I'm saying?
Everything that they do is very in your
radical.
face. Yes, it is very in your face. It's very I don't even know what to say. It's like strong,
irrational.
Yeah. So I really doubt if they were calling him very nicely and saying, "Hey, can you please stop stealing from the community?" But the reason why I'm bringing this up is in reference to what happened in Houston with Joel Osteen. Mm-hmm. He has this huge church, multi-million-dollar facility, and here it is. The people around this vicinity,
need his help.
Yeah, they're in water. They need help. They need places to go. And he refused to open his doors for a while. I don't really know the story into it because I didn't do my research on that. I just read headlines and kept it moving. But the simple fact is, I already know how I feel about situations like that. Anyway, I'm like, the whole city is underwater. Open up them damn doors and help these people. You know what I'm saying? That's how I feel. But he could have been thinking of it as a business, liability.
Yeah.
As far as his insurance, you know what I'm saying? He could lose everything because I would really doubt if he has that covered in his insurance. Having all these people come in and you never know what's going to happen, what's going to break down, and that he's coming out of pocket. I understand that, but on a certain end, you are a servant of God. And that's what kind of correlates the two stories to me. You're a servant of God, and I understand you have a business that you have to run, but God is your business.
You have a responsibility to
morally,
the people, to serve them.
So what comes first, money or the people?
You know what I'm saying? And that's it's sad to say, but like kind of a toss up. It's I read a comment. Someone, I don't know if I read it or I heard it, but somebody was like, well, it's his church. Or no, one of my friends had said that in like one of their Snapchats or something like that, and was like, he read a comment on Facebook regarding the pastor not opening the doors, and the person was saying like, well, it's his church, and it's just like, well, is it his church? Because I believe it's God's house. So,
right, but then it's same as with the other story. The congregation is the one who's giving him this money to build this big monstrosity of a building that you are not using to serve the people that you are preaching to every Sunday.
And that's also left to people's discretion. So that's where it becomes
personal responsibility,
because
I'm not. Look, this is not related to anything church or spiritual. But I love me some Beyonce. I love Jay-Z. Now, let me get off the subject real quick. A seat at the table, 444 and lemonade. Oh my God!
Come on, 2016.
Now let me tell you this. Those are the best albums I've heard thus far. I'm not going to buy Tidal. They have enough money. They don't need my nickel and dimes. They don't need it, okay? I'm sitting up here trying to figure out if I'm going to get gas one week or feed my family. Okay, I'm a drama queen. A little extreme. But you know what I'm saying? It's personal responsibility.
Yeah.
I know that if I'm struggling, I'm not going to do that.
Yeah.
And every time I went to church, I gave what I had in my pocket. Now, some people, they've already taken what they earn and they divvied it up and they have a separate amount for that. Now, Lord, please forgive me. I'm not that person. I'll give you what I have in my pocket at that time.
Yeah.
Because I just feel as though later on down the line in the week, I'm going to need to take care of some business. And then, your building is still open, but my pockets is empty.
Sure, right.
Okay.
I definitely see a perspective. I do understand the group's perspective as well of holding these pastors and preachers and ministers accountable. But in the same breath, it's kind of a catch-22. I mean, you can't have these expectations of our leaders and, not hold yourself accountable and make sure that you're in the community and serving in the community.
But the community
just as
isn't
much.
really, the community is not complaining. It's just one group. So,
but it's, you know what I'm saying? You gotta have, you can't have it all, but you also gotta see it from all sides. I'm pretty sure these pastors, these preachers, and even though everybody's being so critical of them, aren't these selfish, self-righteous people. You know what I'm saying? That just want money because they sitting all pretty. They've been blessed.
Some people are very genuine about what they do, and I just hope we can all find some type of common ground in this.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Not be too greedy. If you are a preacher or whatever, don't be too greedy. Actually look out for your community outside of Sunday, whenever your service hours is.
Right. All right. So, moving right along, let's wrap this right on up with Leave It at the Table. Do you want to go first? Or
I'll go first. Okay. So, leave it on the table. I want to say this, and this is only because I just drove in here to do this taping. It wasn't that bad traffic on the way here, but I seen the traffic going in the other direction, and I was pretty upset leaving work yesterday. It is too many people in Minnesota. There's too many people here. It's construction every goddamn where, and it takes too long to get home. This is ridiculous. I'm tired of the traffic in Minnesota, and that's all I'm about to complain about.
So, my leave it at the table is kind of serious and is going to be directed to our men. I identify as a male. I identify as an African American man, and the misogyny that I continue to experience coming from our men is absolutely repulsive. It sickens me of how easy or conditioned we are to find it to be normal for us to be so explicit when it comes to our women. We don't protect our women. We don't protect our black women. And we need to understand that women run the world. Ladies, I don't know if y'all know, but y'all pocket is the power, okay? And you better believe this. Don't ever believe it to be any other way. Don't feel like you aren't worthy, because we wouldn't have people if it wasn't for the reproduction system. Mm-hmm. So you got to understand the magnitude of your power. And men, I feel have understood that and tried to flip it. It's kind of the same thing when it comes to people of color, because we magic, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. They try to shun you from that and make you believe otherwise, so that light can be dimmed. Same comes with women when it comes to, not having equal pay, when it comes to men just, saying when it comes to being weak or something, they got to be a feminine reference. Mm-hmm. I feel that is just a way that men can remind themselves of how powerful women really are, and to help them believe that they're more superior is just to be oh, women ain't nothing, or women don't got it as good, or they're not as strong as we are. So I feel we need to take more responsibility for making sure that we're protecting our women. Chivalry ain't dead. Men, you ain't got to sit up here and act like you big big ball and shot calling you hard or whatever, and it's not making you weak or soft to have some type of empathy or sympathy towards women and their needs. So I'm going to leave it at our table to, take better care of our women in the world. Misogynistic bastards. Sorry.
Well, look, to end off of that one, if we definitely learn to take care of our women, we learn to take care of our children, we learn to take care of our household, and that's the foundation.
And yourself. Don't forget, you got to take care of self. Self-care is very important.
Amen.
With that note, that is another episode of In the Gray. I'm your boy, Bobby B.
And this is ZB.
And we out.
We out. Peace.